So I guess we'll kick off this Q&A. This is a little bit different. It's the first time we're doing it, and I'm going to let Mama take over it from here. But how the Q&A is going to work is anybody can throw any questions out. You can unmute. You can throw any questions out in the comments, anything like that. I am going to try to live stream it into the group for the ones that haven't been able to join, but you can interrupt anytime. Mama's going to be sharing a few things, but go ahead and interrupt or chat in, whatever you want to do.
Okay. So I just got a notification that one of my doctors I like is going live, but anyway, it's too bad. I'll have to catch it later. Yeah, there's lots of talk going around because some interesting things are happening. So as life goes with a big family, life has to go on. And one thing is just trying to keep everybody encouraged and happy and healthy. And I wish that our government would actually talk more about that. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. And we're doing the trip. And so anytime you can just like raise your hand or put a note in the comments, and Rachel will try to kind of keep an eye out for those. Backing up and moving along, I just try to keep it really simple and basic. As far as taking immune support things, I just try to take food that's nutritious. We do take snacks because I feel like if I can keep everyone's blood sugar fairly even, it keeps us from doing the roller coaster with emotions and things. So a big thing for me with that is Ningxia Red in a pinch. And I shared on my Instagram page, I shared on Dearbrook Ranch Essentials, a little story of a mom who is a friend in Oklahoma. And she uses the Ningxia Red with her type 1 diabetes son. Now, type 1, you have to have the insulin, but she uses a lot of natural things to be able to help him have to take less of the insulin, which is amazing. And understanding with your adrenals and your body, when it gets under stress, it drives your cortisol levels up. And so for him, any too much stress, he just drops his blood sugar really, really low. So she's been an amazing mom to watch. And I've done a lot of those similar things with my children over the years too. Those are a few little things that we do. Protein snacks, I try to avoid the sugar as much as possible, especially because if we are sitting for a long time in the car, they're not going to be able to move around, and moving, walking, things like that really are good for the brain. They're good for helping your blood sugar. And so, and it's really tempting to use these days is these screens and the phones. And so I try not to overdo that, although sometimes when they get antsy, it works pretty good. So one thing I do try to remember if they're doing the screens is to bring Melrose and Indiflex with. So Melrose is made, let me see if I'm sure I have it here somewhere, with tea tree oils, and in particular this one. It's the Melaleuca Quinquenervia. And this is one that Gary studied when he was studying radiation and how to protect the thyroid and things, the organs and glands from that. It was one of the oils that was really effective to helping the body to detox from that. And so that is in Melrose. And before I left, I had wanted to get a few little oils and things, and my order didn't come. But I had thrown this on one of my last orders, and it's a real simple kit. I like the bigger bottles, but this just has all the small ones. I have a couple of them out, but this has a little bottle of Melrose in it right here. And this is one that You can smell the tea tree oil in it. I use it for like behind the ears. There's all types of respiratory support, liver support. We rub it down the spine because these days there's a lot going on out there, and we're exposed to a lot of things too. And so that's one that I will rub down the spine. I also find that Raven is a good one. I rub that on their backs. And one thing I'll do, if you have a raindrop kit, before you travel, that, is another one that's real relaxing, or any of the oils in their raindrop, like marjoram, basil. Those just really help to relax. Raven also has wintergreen in it, and I love wintergreen. So for me, having had the 10 children and then going through my autoimmune thing, I did really well with my cardiovascular system laying around a lot, but I really have to be careful with it. I haven't been walking a lot, and the last 2 weeks before our trip were fairly busy. And so I noticed I had this one spot that I always have to be careful with on my ankle. And so I took, since wintergreen is out of stock, anything that has, oh, it's in stock. Okay, great. That is one that is important to stock up on. Wintergreen is also in a couple of the supplements like Super Cal Plus, which is an amazing supplement. And if there's anything to stock up on, it's things like that. So wintergreen I love the way it supports the circulation. So the salicylic acid in it is something that similar to what aspirin has. It's not a drug, so they work differently. But do some research on that one. That is one that when my sister was in the hospital, we used a lot of because she didn't want to take aspirin, but she didn't want blood clots either. So supporting the circulatory system. And Raven is just really good. I rubbed it on like before we went hiking. So I can talk about hiking things now.
Raven's also really good. This is for personal testimony. I used it when I first got into oils, and I loved it. Besides Peace of Palming, Stress Away, Valor. But what I did not realize is how much Raven has an amazing impact on your limbic part of the brain. I was using it for better breathing, but when you look at the emotions and what is stored in your emotions, and what was stored for me was a lot of grief and sadness with what had happened to my mama and not being able to communicate to her since she was so sick. And so a lot of that went in my chest, but I also had a lot of issues with breathing and like chest issues, if you want to say. And so when I used that on my chest, I loved that feeling. And then as I studied more about the brain and how oils worked with the brain and the emotions and the limbic part of the brain, I was in a class with a friend, and she started explaining how Raven worked with that. It's got Ramonstera, I think it's got eucalyptus, wintergreen, again, like Mama said, which all those oils I loved, but I didn't realize how much they were actually helping with that as well, because I don't know, for me, I thought this was really interesting, but 70% of our physical health is a result of 70% of emotional and spiritual issues, which is really interesting how that all goes together and plays into our physical. So that leaves only 20% of actual physical things that are affected. So anyways, just my little testimony.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Rachel. And so I took it hiking. Something that I rubbed like on the back of my calves, on my chest. The other thing I did was I told you about the blood sugar thing. I kept the Nixia, and I took 2 packages with me because I didn't know how long it was going to take me to hike down into the mountain to the falls and back out. And I knew that could give me some quick energy. It's full of vitamins and amino acids, proteins. We do the whole Nixia class on that. And so also the other thing I did was, these are things that I would say would be good to stock up on because winter's coming. And if you look around at what's going on just in the summer already this year, some places was flooding to the ER rooms, and you need to have things on hand that you can be using now and then immediately if something comes up. We don't have time to order stuff these days at the stores. People are out of stock of supplements. So one thing I would keep in stock are these cough drops. This is something that has the thieves in it, and it has some peppermint. And again, I just took a little chunk off of it, and I just sucked on it as I went and hiked, and it just helps me feel like I had more oxygen. So, and of course, good old peppermint is it's not expensive. Kids Power is like a form of Valor. You can rub Valor or Kids Power. I love Valor too because it also has the tangerine, it has the vanilla, and it has the geranium in it. Those are all really, really good ones. The vanilla is if you have a child that he had plenty of things to eat, or maybe yourself, and you're just trying to fight the habit of grazing when you shouldn't, like spreading like the children in the camper, like if they're just getting a habit of just wanting to go get snack. Anything with vanilla in it is kind of calming to the body, and it can also help to curb an appetite that you don't need. So as long as you're meeting that need and they are getting the calories they need, sometimes the vanilla is good. I can run a diffuser with vanilla or stress away. And then nitro is another thing that I used. Nitro feeds, it has choline, it feeds your liver, because if your liver's not working properly, you have to have choline to make bile. And if your gallbladder is not functioning right, or there's blockage, it's not going to store that bile very well, and there's other issues involved there. So I love choline, the choline in the nitro. It just helps you think more clearly too, and it has some ginseng and nutmeg oil, which is good for your adrenals. Another thing for just a busy mom, no matter if you're hiking or not, is I make a capsule, and in it I put, all these oils are in this Golden Touch kit. There's Endoflex and Juvaflex. They come in these little white bottles. And then I don't have the nutmeg, but you can add that and put them in a capsule, like 3 drops of each. If you're not used to it, you can start out with 1 of each and put it in olive oil and just swallow it, or just drop it under your tongue. And then you can up it and do that for a week or 2 and see how your body does, see what support that you need. And then you can back off of it. But that helps me. That helps like to give my adrenals and pituitary, all those glands that run your energy system. It helps with the thyroid too. And Endoflex is another one that I use with the children when they are doing their school or their screen time. Endoflex is a really good one for children. I don't know why they don't talk about it for children, but it's an amazing oil. Sometimes they'll rub it over their thymus gland right here on their breastbone, right here. I wouldn't maybe rub it on their adrenals. So also some other things, and this is not just for hiking. It's good for just helping everyone sleep, rest, as we all need minerals. And there's different minerals that you can get. Like I said, the Super Cal Plus has an algae in it that's full of humic and fulvic minerals.
Supplementation outside of it too.
Right. You can really up that. It also has copaiba in it and wintergreen. Mineral essence is another one. I don't have the little bottle here, but it's a wonderful supplement. Stephanie funny, my 11-year-old loves Mineral Essence. It has good oils in it, like peppermint, cinnamon. Those are all supportive of the immune system in Mineral Essence. And Mineral Essence does have a bee product. It's made from that's it helps enhance collagen. It helps. It just helps to restore the gut health. And then there's also like you can't have minerals from like royal jelly. There's different ones like the boo that we use, the black oxygen, little tiny powder, and that's from Canada. Some of these things, it'll be interesting to see
It's
if we
helping
will.
with the shedding of the vaccine.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. So a lot of things going on, and hopefully we will still be able.
Sorry, I think I'm being cut out there. For a
Okay, I
second.
think I cut out. So minerals important. Golden turmeric is another one that I like, the little powder. But I'm just throwing out a bunch of different things. Coconut water. You can buy it at Walmart, the organic coconut water. You can buy it at natural grocers. I think Code 2. And that has electrolytes in it. And so any of those things that you can get in, I think for children and adults, like for Joe driving and having to be alert, those are super, super important. So when I'm giving them those things, I feel like, and I use some of the oils with them throughout the day to help them relax, help their muscles. Toward the evening, sleeping is easier. And I do diffusers. We do, yes, we're going to do a diffusing class next week. We skipped it this week because we didn't know what our connection would be like. But I diffuse Sleepy Ease, I'll diffuse frankincense and lavender, piece of calming. Just plain tangerine or orange is calming. So those are some. In the camper, I was doing a lot of Abundance. Abundance has, it kind of smells like Christmas spirit, and I think has a little bit of myrrh in it too. And it just helps. It has patchouli too. So if there's some yucky things, or maybe like the dryer, the wash machine, the little rubber ring didn't get dried off well, and so it was slightly moldy. I would, whenever we leave the camper, I just put a bunch of that in the diffusers and let it knock out all the stuff, and it was just nice and fresh in here when we came back in. It's a little magnesium packet. Since I have it. So also at night, I use the little Calm Magnesium. It has a number of different things in it. I'm trying to make this quick. It's a little purple box. I think I actually have one right there. Up in here. And those are little packages that you can, and I had one right here by the bed. Those travel real well, so those work well. The other thing is alkaline is another thing that comes in a little package. Mindwise comes in packages, so those things, yeah, there's the Kids Unwind. And that's not just for kids. We all like it. It has some amino acids in it that are super good for calming down. And so it's a magnesium supplement too. So then also for sleeping, Kids Scent or Kids Power or Valor, just rub down the spine, massaged into certain parts of the feet. If you do the feet, or even teach the children to, sometimes you'll notice there'll be a tight muscle somewhere, and you massage that. That's connected to a nerve ending that goes to that organ in the body. Sometimes under the arch of the children's feet, I will notice after we've been eating foods that we probably shouldn't have. Sometimes that gets tight on some of the children, and that is your gut. Interesting. So massaging that, you can do digize, you can do tummy jize. You can also apply these straight on the stomach. And digize is also in this kit that I was talking about. And so you can put those in capsules and give it to them, or drop under the tongue if they don't mind it. It is a little strong for some people. Gentle Baby, Peace and Calming. Aroma Life has ylang ylang, or you can just do ylang ylang by itself. That's kind of your Valentine's romance oil. But it just, when things are calm and relaxed, it helps you wind down. It helps that, for one of my little ones, it helps that heart that's just pounding away to calm down and relax. It supports the cardiovascular system too. And so those are a few for sleeping. Immune support. I showed you the little kit that I brought. You know, just anything you have as far as supplements, vitamin C. I do think that yeah, Aroma uses another one that's really good. And they make the little rings that you can wear on your nose.
You can't see them.
They're little silicone. Yeah. And those come in little packages. So enzymes is another thing that I do. And they do have the kids enzymes. Mighty Zymes is for the children. It's chewable. Some people, just adults, prefer to take that. It's kind of a broad spectrum things. I didn't bring essential zymes for, I just grabbed these. These are just the plain essential zymes, and these have things to help the pancreas. They also have enzymes, and the formulation is really good for like if your gallbladder's not working, or you're like sitting around in the RV a lot and everything's a little more stagnant. This is the enzyme that I like to take. And for some of the children, I will just break one in half and give it to them. I don't recommend chewing that one, just try to swallow it. The other thing that I do is detoxzyme. And detoxzyme is like a really powerful one that you can take like right after a meal, especially if it was, you know, something that you need some help with right away. I have a one that's, you know, 11, and she takes this. The other thing is detoxzyme is one that if you're struggling with the keeping that candida yeast stuff in your intestines balanced, this is a good one for that. And you can take these at night too before you go to bed. Another one that's probably the strongest enzyme is Allerzyme. It has plantain. It has, you know, Allerzyme I think of like if you're eating a lot of Mexican food with beans. This is one that would be really good. Legumes, beans, a lot of fiber from plants. But also I use this, I keep this on hand. Like if the children were to get a sting, like a bee sting or something, I will give them a tiny bit of this with, of course, my charcoal mask. Melrose works good. Lavender. So
Allerzyme is something that was my lifesaver with allergies. I had a supplement I used to get from Standard Process. Sorry. And this definitely beats it because it's got the oils that are infused in it. And so that helps it to be more bioavailable in the body. And I found I didn't need as much either. So Allerzyme is really amazing, and it works great with everything we're experiencing with vaccine. And I'm just saying it out straight because people need to know. So it really does help the body, because I've noticed some things in the last few months that I've been combating, being around different things, and it just, your body has to have enzymes to be able to do what it was created to do.
So those are the 3 that I took on the trip. So enzymes. And of course, probiotics, any way that you can get those in. Yogurt, they have dairy-free dairy. If you do the dairy, make sure that you get the whole fat with it, the whole milk products. And if you can make it's hard to find raw whole milk yogurt, but you can make it. And or if you're traveling and you find a farmer market, which we actually did see a farmer's market in Virginia, and the Instapot, you can make yogurt in that. So that's pretty neat too. So those are a few things. I love the cod liver oil, the omega dries. And I will say this, I think I shared this last time, but the cod liver oil is a really good form of your essential fatty acids and your vitamin A. And if the kids were to come down with a fever, I make sure that they're getting the cod liver oil, some nutritious things like that, some bone broth, freeze it and put it in ice cubes. You can also buy these little powdered packages of it that you could take on a trip if you needed to. Another form of vitamin A is in Illuminize, and that is an amazing supplement just in itself. So I shared some of the things about staying calm. Blood sugar is a big one. Try your Sleek Essence, your Acatea oil. Acatea is also in Stress Away. So if you don't like the smell of it, for some reason, some people love it, some people don't at times, but you can still rub it on the bottoms of your feet and find the adrenal area or the pancreas area on your foot and apply it, rub it into that area. Coriander, and those all come in these little Vitality bottles. Let's see if I can find one here. I know I had it. No, I can't find it. Well, anyway.
Vitality bottle.
Yeah.
Here, there's one right here.
Okay. Yeah, coriander comes in a little bottle like this, and you can add it to a smoothie. You can add it to put it in a teaspoon of oil, or you can put it in capsules and take it. So that's really important. Of course, keeping up on the protein, and any of your tree oils like your firs, your balsam firs, your black spruce, all those, you like Valor. It's really good for just helping everyone stay calm and grounded, and
it helps balance the whole system. So if y'all are familiar with the energy level of the oil, your body starts, thriving and for viruses and bacteria, infection, all that at a certain megahertz. So for example, our lights are incoherent with the body. The oils are coherent with this. So especially the spruce oils or wood oils, they help your body to stay at the proper level that you need to be able to fight that. So it's not below that line. So your body's constantly fighting that. So that's one really neat thing about the spruce oil and why they work so neatly to help the whole body's balance.
Right. Rose is also high in that too. So any type of blend with rose, because rose is a very, it's worth the investment, but sometimes it takes a while to save up for it. So
Melissa is another one that's huge that I've been working with some things that in the medical field are not curable. So just dropping a bomb there.
Okay. So moods, vitamin D3. Your citrus oils are like liquid sunshine. So Ningxia Red has that in there. Mindwise is another one. Your Vitality drops. They have electrolytes in them. They also have one has lemon and lavender, one's grapefruit. And then they have the energy drops too that have a little bit of that natural caffeine from that. What is that funny little root in Ecuador that the natives will? No, I can't remember it, but it gives them slow, sustained energy. So that could be something you could squeeze in your drink.
Guarana seed?
Maybe. So the snacks and things help the mood, the blood sugar. Also, getting enough stretching if we stop. And it's a nice place to walk out. I get them and I have them walk to help that lymphatic system keep moving. Another thing is your cleaners, your hand sanitizers, things you're taking with you. make sure that you are using things that don't cause extra stress on the immune system. So I have the Thieves line, the laundry detergent, and I shared on Instagram last week how I took the veggie wash with me so that I can wash our veggies, but also I mix it and it has enzymes in it. It has digestion and purification. So it helps get the smell out of stinky clothes that may have sat around. And it just works like a little spot cleaner. So those are some good things to remember, because we want to keep the being in a closed up area, the stress off our respiratory system.
All the recipes I just showed for the diffuser are a great way to be able to help support that system.
Okay, so let's see here. So the supplements, little things like the enzymes, the I've been doing the CardioGize, the Nitro Power, good things in it. It has, I think it's got the goldenrod in it. It has a little bit of tribulus in it. A lot of guys will take PowerGize, but ladies, it's good for you too. So I'll just throw that out there that Joe and I both like to take it from time to time, especially when we're in stress. So we had a little bit of that and we used that up. We ran out, so we're off. We're done with that one. B vitamins. Please don't forget your B vitamins. B vitamins are essential for life. I take zinc. I'll take a little bit of colloidal silver just in case, and out of my DiGize. For some reason, and some charcoal if someone got food poisoning or came down with a stomach thing. Those are things that I would start giving right away and fairly often. Other little things are Agiles. Agiles has turmeric. It has frankincense. It has, so there's all kinds of things like that that you can take along. And I told you I was going to show you how to do the bone broth in the Instapot. I don't have my Instapot right here. I guess I could grab it. But real quickly, so if you're using your Instapot and you want to make bone broth, you can do it in a crock pot. You can boil it on the stove, like fill it up and with your vinegar, and then just let it go for a whole day. Or if you're like me and you have a big family and you're running out, or you're got behind and you didn't make any, you can buy some frozen, but it gets fairly expensive. So I find that if you find a local farmer that has being very careful for how he's raising his animals and the nutrition, like make sure he's focusing on nutritious fields and minerals, because that's going to go into the bones of the animals too. And you want that good stuff, the marrow and stuff, to draw all that out. So I think Shady Grove Farms, there's a couple other farmers in Texas where we are that are local, and you can buy bones from them. There's a family by Gilmer, two families actually, that have beef and sheep, I think too. If you hunt wild game, venison, all those things you can make bone broth out of. So here's what I do is I'll take my Instapot. I'll set the bones in there, and then I will, yes, Shady Grove is definitely one of the best. And they're amazing how we get our feed for our chickens from them, because they have it mixed. And yeah, it's a rule we buy in bulk. So if anyone wants to do that, that's something that you can let them know if you're raising your chickens or whatever, and they will allow you to purchase with them. So the other thing is the bone broth. So put the bones in, fill your water to the max line. There's a little line in the stainless steel liner. Don't go over that. And then add like a tablespoon or two of apple cider vinegar. Let that sit for about 30 minutes, and then put the lid on, close the valve, and push the soup button. It's usually on mine, it's over on the top left. And punch in 120 minutes, push the plus sign, it'll go up, 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 up to 120 minutes. And then it'll just start if it automatically, and it'll take about 20 minutes to reach pressure, and then let it cook for 120 minutes and then naturally release. So about 15 minutes, and then the valve should already open on its own, and you can open the lid and strain out your broth. Oh, I should have said you should put salt in it. Find like some Himalayan or Redmond or Celtic salt. And then you've got bone broth, and you didn't have to, and it makes really, when you cool it, it's got like this gelatin. It should be really, and that's got collagen and a bunch of good stuff in there. And I shared last week a little bit about the benefits of some of those. So having that with you is, I find is real important. I put in spaghetti sauce tonight. Hannah did. Yeah, Hannah did. Find different ways. So if you're eating a lot of ground meat and it doesn't have the bone, obviously, those are ways to add the nutrition in. The fat that is in there from the bones also helps you absorb the minerals in your vegetables. So even if you're a vegetarian and you don't want to eat the meat, you can still eat the broth with the cook your vegetables in it. I will even put broth in biscuits, and the kids actually love them. So get creative. So those are just a few things. Oils I use. Aroma Seeds is a good one, and I was rubbing it on someone, and I don't know where I put it, but it's a big blue bottle. That is something in the raindrop technique that if you have a ropey muscle that gets really tight, we will massage that in there. But I use Aroma Seeds for all kinds of things. It's very calming. Neurological system. I'll rub it right here around the ears and down the it helps support your parasympathetic nerve. And you've got your vagus nerve, I think, that big, and that goes all the way down to your stomach. So all those things are important to support when you're moving along. I take deep relief, anything that helps with any owies or sore muscles, right? Cypress is really good for circulation. And so I use cypress for me. This Cellulite Magic has a lot of cypress in it, and it has a lot of things that help with my circulation. So that's an easy one for me. And if you run out of it, you can kind of mix up your own too. The raindrop oils, those are huge. I take those. That's something that we're going to be doing a class on here in a couple weeks. I'd love for anybody to learn that. Come over to our house and we'll do raindrops. So I took the Golden Touch kit. Also in my little thing, and this is from Oily Essentials, these little pouches. They are out of town. They were doing a big trip, and she said that she wasn't filling orders right off. So Pam, I did contact her, and they're just an older couple that retails these. So I will put the link there in the class. I think that this week they should be back in town, so I think they'll start shipping those. So helichrysum, geranium, owie. There's different types of helichrysum, and Living has a couple of them. Here's the Kidson owie. I used that a couple times when someone fell down when they're hiking. Everyone had a little spill. Thankfully, there wasn't anything major, just normal. Dragon Time. I don't have that's a big green bottle here, but let me see if I find it. That is something. Yes, for ladies, once a month. Sometimes things get a little bit when Aunt Flo comes into town, and it has clary sage and jasmine, which are real helpful for discomforts, mood swings. They say if you've got teenage girls to put them in the shower with the body wash, and it just helps them to calm down too. So I don't know. I I take that one with. Sunscreen, and Living has good sunscreen. After sun, lavender is a good one. And the Living has a little lavender and after sun spray with helichrysum and some of those things in it. And you can also make your own on some of these if you don't have them. So Genesis lotion, hand and body lotion. That is has aloe vera and some really good things. And it also, if you ever have seen the little Bon Voyage travel kits, they have a little sampling of a bunch of things. And so that's an easy way to get some products in smaller sizes. So there, I covered a few things. Insect repellent, of course. It's amazing. And I also, on Amazon, you can buy these big roller bottles and fill it up and then just roll it on them like this. And people will spray it on, whatever works best. But there's a few things that we used. So anybody have any questions? Because I'm sure I missed a lot of things, but I tried to just throw out a few things that we are doing. Have any questions, Pam? You can just push your unmute and talk if you want to. Or you have some special snacks that Colton likes. I need some ideas. I have a couple that we do gluten-free, but that gets challenging. So if you ever find any fun little snacks that are that way, let me know. I'm always looking for ideas.
Connection's very good or not. Some shady ground. Okay. Well, okay, so yeah, definitely we will get the recording up for this PM. It will be on a private link, but you will be able to have access to it. So thank you all so much for joining our Q&A. We appreciate y'all joining. And we will do one hopefully again next week. I do our live in our group, but we're going to be trying to do randomly Q&As on Zoom so everybody can join and interact, because the Q&As are not for us to share education as much. We want to be able to hear your stories. We want to be able to hear your testimonies and just hear your feedback, hear your concerns, prayer requests, any of that. We're here for you. We're community. That's what it's about. It's not just to get education into your hands, but to be able to be there for you as a friend and support you and help you wherever you are in your journey with wellness or health or whatever it is you're experiencing in life. We just want to be there as a support line to come alongside you and encourage you. So thank you all so much for coming. We have an event October 16th in person. We're going to be trying to share out. So feel free to invite any friends. We want to be able to get these tools into as many hands as we can and bless others because God's given us some amazing tools and they work amazing. So thank you, Mama, for doing the call tonight. I enjoyed what you shared. I had fun running some slides and hopefully y'all were able to see it okay. And we'll be announcing more details soon. I have the raindrop class coming up. I'm wanting to do that in about 2 weeks in person. So we're going to have a whole class afterwards, but I'm going to do in person the actual technique. And I'm really excited about it. We've been traveling, so I've been trying to brainstorm as we can, as we're not visiting things. But we're going to be getting home, and I'm going to be working on a lot of plans, and I'll be trying to let you guys know. So thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Pam, for joining, and anybody that's watching this on replay.
And so mark those that are local, or if you want to drive, mark your calendars for October 16th. We are going to have Josh Graff, that is part of our big group, come. He's going to be sharing a little thing, talk on oils, the Bible. We're going to have other little workshops and just some hands-on things and try to make it a fun fall event. So,
and he's an Army vet who has a lot of experience. He's also a chaplain, so I'm really excited to hear what he shares. But we'll let you go, and we'll catch y'all later, and we will